Good morning. And welcome to the Emerson Unitarian Universalist congregation. My name is Audrey Pickett-Tice, and I'm today's worship assistant. It is so good to be together with you here in person and online. And we'd like to welcome back to the pulpit today Reverend Christina Branum-Martin. We come together here with our joys and sorrows, whether we need to rest or whether we're ready to take action. Whether you are a newcomer or a longtime member or a friend, all are welcome here. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe that all people are born with worthiness, beauty, and dignity. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your life journey, you are welcome here. Whomever you love, wherever you were born, whatever language you speak, you are welcome here. Whatever the color of your skin, your background, or your abilities, you are welcome here. We are so grateful that you chose to spend this morning here with our Emerson congregation. If you're here in person, we invite you to join us for social time following the service today for light refreshments. Our main fellowship hall is on this floor directly behind the sanctuary, and you can reach it through this hallway. And our family-friendly fellowship hall with snacks and activities for all ages is upstairs in room 214, accessible by the back stairs or the elevator. After fellowship time, please join us for religious exploration and small group gatherings, as listed on the back of your order of service. It is such a joy to be together in community. Now we will light our chalice as our symbol of Unitarian Universalism, and Ellie will light the chalice today. Thank you, Ellie. These words are by Reverend Melanie Davis. If ever there were a time for a candle in the darkness, this would be it. Using a spark of hope, we kindle the flame of love, ignite the light of peace, and feed the flame of justice. Thank you. And now, in the spirit of love and the beloved community, let's share our congregational affirmation. We need not think alike to love alike. Next, let's greet and welcome each other to this new day. Those in the sanctuary, feel free to turn to your neighbors and offer greetings. And for those online, please use the chat to introduce yourself.
Hello and good morning. I'm Reverend Christina Branum-Martin, and it is the distinct honor to be the minister here at Emerson UU congregation. My pronouns are she and her, and you may notice there are a lot of extra seats today. We've got a couple of groups missing, and I just wanted to bring it to your attention that the choir and our music staff are on their annual retreat, We hope they had a really fun time in the mountains in North Carolina. I know they are learning lots of new music, and they'll be back next week for a really amazing and dynamic service honoring Black History Month, Unitarian Universalist Black History, and also we'll have a guest director. We'll be working with the congregation's choir. His name is Tony McNeil, and he focuses on gospels and spirituals, and it's going to be quite the service. I also want to note that our junior high and high school youth are all visiting a Catholic church today. One of the things that they're doing this year is visiting different congregations and different denominations to learn about religious practice, how it's different, and how in many ways it's really the same. It's about being together and finding meaning in our lives through hard times and celebrating the good too. And so if you will welcome them back next week, it will be wonderful to ask them, so how was the Catholic Church? Many of you might have survived Catholicism. A friend of mine has a shirt that says, I survived the Catholic school. And I went to Catholic school by choice as a Unitarian Universalist kid, so I have a different bent on that. As we begin our worship today, we're going to sing together. One of my favorite hymns is Spirit of Life, and one of the things I really love about that is that it is a prayer. It is a soulful prayer about finding our way back to life itself, and the energy to move from day to day, and the energy of action sometimes it takes to make a difference in the world. So if you'll stand or raise your voice as you wish, let's sing together, Spirit of Life. I want to acknowledge that we have a special person at the piano today. You might know this person as our nursery caregiver, but Evan is sharing his love of music today and helping us as Bruce is away. Thank you so much for your gift of music. We will pause now for a moment to share our joys and sorrows and concerns. Oh, thank you so much, Mary. I appreciate that. Thank you. We begin each week at this time by placing 3 stones. The first is in honor of the Cherokee and the Muskogee nations of indigenous peoples whose land we reside on. The second is in memory of those wrongly enslaved here who labored for hundreds of years on this land. And the third is for all those hurting in current conflicts and war across the globe. Oh, I see 3. I think, Susan, was this note about your son visiting last week? Well, okay, this week, Susan Tomachek shares that her son visited this weekend. What a treat, and I'm so glad he came all the way from California. February 8th, okay. Gregory Baldwin says, a joy. My dad has recovered from the flu just in time for a vacation in Curacao. Yay. And we have a really big joy. Kate Kent says, our family has been caught up in the postpartum haze, but I would like to belatedly share that Clay Kent joined our world in the early hours of the morning on December 26th. His big sister adores him to a near problematic level, and his parents are enamored with nearly every move and squeak. Please join me in celebrating the presence of this bright little soul in our lives. And I would like to put a stone in for the people that I worked with in Minneapolis, some of which I had never met before and now are dear friends, and I think one might be watching today online. It was an opportunity for us to all learn what true community can look like, and so I put a special stone in for Lori and Michael. Would you join me as we recite the Buddhist prayer of loving kindness together? May we all be filled with loving kindness. May we all be free from harm and suffering. May we all be well in body, heart, and mind. May we all be at peace. Blessed be. Thank you. I'll trade with you.
Each week at Emerson, we receive an offering that is both practical and meaningful. Half of our offering supports our congregation, which is our staff, our building, religious education, and the many ministries that sustain our life together. And the other half of the offering is a spiritual practice. As we pass the basket, we practice gratitude and generosity, reminding ourselves that giving is part of our shared spiritual life. By sharing half of our offering with community partners beyond our walls, we extend our values of love and justice into the wider world. This month, we will share our offering with the Refugee Women's Network, a remarkable nonprofit serving refugee and immigrant women right here in Georgia. For more than 25 years, Refugee Women's Network has inspired and equipped women, many of them survivors of war, conflict, and displacement, to become leaders in their homes, businesses, and communities. Their programs focus on health and wellness, offering support for stress-related challenges such as depression and reproductive health. They help women navigate an unfamiliar healthcare system, new foods, and the physical and emotional challenges of resettlement. We are grateful for their work and honored to share their mission with you today. For those in the sanctuary, as the basket is passed, please feel free to offer a donation or see in your order of service for other ways to give. For those online, go to emersonuu.org, select the Giving, and select the Giving tab to donate. For the children and those with a sweet tooth, there are lollipops in the basket too. The morning offering will now be given and received with gratitude.
Good morning. We'd like to invite the young and the young at heart to come on up for the story of all ages. Do you want me to hold this for you?
Oh, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Gregory. I'm going to be telling the story of Valentino today. And it's actually the very first story of Valentino today. So y'all get to hear the origin, well, at least my origin of me meeting him. This is called Finding Valentino. So I'll wait for the picture to come on up. Oh yeah, you can pet him. So they got my slides up there. Well, first question I want to ask y'all, have y'all ever found something that you didn't expect to find that changed your life forever? Well, that's what happened to me one magical day 3 years ago. I guess these slides take a little bit to change. As I was helping out a flower shop to deliver these 24 roses on their busiest day of the year, what do y'all think it is? Valentine's Day. So, it was during that delivery, let me see the next picture, that I found this little puppy in the road. He was wearing a collar and a leash, and he was sniffing the ground at a three-way stop. Just keep him rolling. When I called for him, he ran right up to me immediately and jumped into my car. I didn't know what his name was since his collar had no tag on it, so I called him Rex because he seemed like a tough dog. No, Tino, right when I say that. He's okay. Someone's staring at him. He doesn't like that. Okay. So I had no idea how special this dog was at first when I noticed a big brown spot on his side. If any of y'all have never met him before, you've probably seen it. I thought it almost kind of looked like a shape of a pinto bean at first. Something about him seemed especially different, but it just wasn't quite sure. I just wasn't quite sure what it was. He was always very calm riding in the car since the moment I found him, that's for sure. So, this puppy went to the pound, expecting maybe someone might show up and claim him. So he sat there for a week by their policy. You can go to the next one. He may have even made a friend or two while he was in there. So there's a little story for that. Maybe I'll tell y'all another time. And then that weekend, I went to visit him at the pound. He was extremely excited to see me there. He instantly recognized me. Yeah. Well, let's show the next one. The crazy part about this story is that my first dog looked a lot like him. Her name was Penny, and she was a Jack Russell Terrier just like him. When we go to the next one, you can see she lived a good life. Penny had a litter of puppies, so we kept one and named her Gracie. She was mixed with a black lab. And years later, after those two had passed, I had another Jack Russell Terrier named Milo. But their behavior wasn't nearly as balanced as this dog. I just knew I had to adopt him. Why do you do that right when I say that? So a week later, on the 21st of February, I adopted this dog on what just so happened to be another holiday. Yeah, y'all can pet him afterwards. Since I rescued him on Valentine's Day and actually adopted him on Mardi Gras, 7 days later, I decided to name him Valentino Martino Rex. And just so happens to turn out that there's a parade called the Rex Parade at Mardi Gras where they crown the king. So that's why he's got the crown right there. I was actually, while I was visiting him at the pound, that the animal control officer noticed the biggest biggest magical part about him. That big brown spot on the side I was talking about wasn't only shaped like a kind of bean, but it was especially shaped like what? What does that look like? Yeah, big old heart. And it wasn't long until I noticed that he has many heart-shaped spots on him. You go to the next one, you'll see. Even on the tip of his tail, he has a little white spot on his tail. And when I brought him home, I wasn't sure how my cat Amelia might react to him, since you know how cats and dogs can be. But fortunately, she wasn't too jealous, and she realized he wasn't a threat pretty quickly, and has come around to loving his presence. And every night, Valentino loves Amelia. They are inseparable, and the two of them cuddle nearly every night now. Now Valentino's living his best life, playing fetch and loving on people as a therapy dog. But at first he was restricted on where he could go, just like any dog. But in a short time, with consistent training, Valentino has managed to work excellently as a medically trained service animal, as well as a pelvic therapy dog, even though he can be mouthy sometimes. Valentino loves to play fetch and takes hikes. He also is a very loving dog and loves to bring comfort to children, adults, and other animals everywhere he goes, even for those who are afraid of dogs. Although not everyone he meets is a dog lover, he usually persuades a lot of hearts to love him whenever he meets someone new. Now, you might just be wondering, where did Valentino actually come from? Well, while I may not have all the answers to that yet, I've learned that some stories do reveal themselves slowly over time. And Valentino's story didn't end that day, just so you know. Let's go to see the next one. When I found him, in lots of ways, it was just part of the beginning. And then, let me show the very last slide. This is his story, and we'll keep on going. Wherever love is needed. Next, with many more adventures waiting ahead. So, there he is. There's Valentino. He's going to be the next mascot of Valentine's Day one day. And let's all stand up and sing our song of dedication.
Anybody who'd like to come to nursery, you can come with me, so that's 7 and younger, and head to the back.
That was a sweet story. Oh, Audrey, it's your turn. I am so sorry.
Today's reading is titled Evil, a Parable by Reverend Sharon Wiley. And so it came to pass that a great evil spread across the land. Many people saw the evil and recognized its danger, and they pointed at it, naming it and calling it for their neighbors to see it and turn away. But many other people saw the evil and did not see the danger. They thought it beautiful and welcomed it with open arms, and so the evil grew stronger and spread. At first it seemed unbelievable, crashing in like a circus clown, but it promised safety, belonging, and certainty in a world of rapid change. It told people who they were, who they should fear, and who they should blame. And many were relieved to turn their fear and anger toward the vulnerable. Those who named the danger were mocked. You are overreacting, they were told. This is just noise, just theater. Things will be better now. And the evil grew stronger. It learned how to root itself in hearts and homes. It made cruelty feel like strength. It made domination feel like order. It made obedience feel like virtue. Those who could not see evil heard lies and thought them truth. They heard noise and thought it inspiring. They set aside their compassion and worshiped at the altar of a false god. They insisted all was well, even as their families divided. In the beginning, those who resisted did not know what to do. How could others not see what was so clear? Some grew exhausted. Some grew numb. Some bargained with the evil, believing they could overcome it through compromise. Resistors grieved the loss of the world they thought they understood. The evil grew and thrived. And as the world grew ever more violent and frightening, the resistors found clarity and determination. They found each other. They marched in the streets and gathered at the street corners protesting. They shared photos and videos of who was being harmed and who was harming them. They wrote letters and made phone calls demanding that those with power speak and act. They refused to trade their conscience for comfort. They refused to harden their hearts for the sake of belonging. They refused to become what they feared. They chose courage without cruelty. They chose truth without compromise. They chose compassion and love over fear and anger. They built quiet networks of care. They protected the vulnerable. They shared a vision of what the world could be. They showed their children values to live by. And those who could not see evil, some would one day begin to see, slowly and painfully, when the harm reached their own doors. Some would turn away in silence, carrying questions they did not yet have language for. Some would cling more tightly to the lie, reshaping truth to preserve their belonging. And some would be broken by the very thing they had trusted to save them. For evil does not only wound those it targets, it consumes those who serve it. It hollows those who worship it, and it abandons those who depend on it. And so there came a time when the evil was diminished. For there is a law older than fear and stronger than lies. That which is built on cruelty collapses. That which is built on deception devours itself. That which is built on love endures. And the evil never fully disappeared, for it is the nature of evil to change shape and live on. But this isn't really a story about evil. This is a story about who the people become when they are asked to choose what kind of world we will make together.
So many of you know I was in Minneapolis a week ago, and I am so grateful to be home with my family and with you, where it is so much warmer. And I also am feeling safer here. I decided I needed to go to Minneapolis very suddenly. Late on a Friday night 2 weeks ago, there was an email that went out to all of the Unitarian Universalists in our Ministers Association. It also went out to other denominations and clergy of all kinds from their leadership groups. And I saw the email a little bit before midnight, and I thought, this feels like a moment that I am being called to do something, not just for me, not just for my children, but for the world that I want to see come into being. So I woke up my husband, and we talked about me going, and he immediately said, yes, if you feel you need to go, just go. We will be okay, and I'll cover it here at home. So by Wednesday, a few days later, I gathered every piece of warm clothing I could find. A friend loaned me the biggest, thickest, puffiest coat. I got long johns. I grabbed my snow mittens. I got a good warm hat, and I bought some electric socks. I know that when I arrived, I was not there alone. I went with the love of my family. I went with your blessing and support. I went knowing that as your minister, I needed to learn all I could to support and protect, but the community at large in which we live in, our little corner of Marietta, our place in Cobb County and the nearby counties, and in this metro Atlanta area. And simply, I wanted to be there as a representative of love. You were always with me. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a tiny little chalice that's here. This chalice with a little altar cloth and a couple of things like a little bottle of wishes, sparkly wishes. The love of all of you. And flowers representing my connection to the earth and to you and my children, and a little altar cloth fit in this tiny box. And it was in my pocket the whole time. I wore this yellow stole. Did you know that this stole was sewn and gifted to me by our Director of Family Ministries, Michael Lukens? So as I wore it, I knew that you were literally and physically present to me. Thank you, Michael, for that gift. So on the first day that I arrived on Wednesday, I felt nervous. I felt unsure. I felt insecure. I thought, I don't know if I am meant to be here. I don't know, can I be present in a way that allows me to learn? Am I up for this? I was a little scared. I wasn't sure what was coming. And the next morning, bright and early at 8 o'clock, we were invited to gather in a cathedral, a large, beautiful congregation where over 1,200 of us gathered to learn nonviolent protest tactics. We prayed, we sang, we even danced. There were plans for ways for us to visit different places in the city, to witness on our own, with our own eyes, what was happening, so that we could trust what we were seeing and not be gaslit, as many things are happening these days. When you see something and your gut tells you what's true, and someone is telling you that you're not seeing what you're seeing. So that Thursday, together, we sat side by side. There were rabbis and Buddhists and Sikhs and imams. There were Baha'i and humanists. It was really beautiful. Such a spread of religious diversity and leadership. We had all answered that call to come and see firsthand the travesties of injustice and the inhumane treatment of people in Minneapolis. I heard an NPR story this morning that's running through my heart and mind. Last month, almost 2,600 people were picked up on the streets of Minneapolis and without due process, flown directly to detention centers, mostly in Texas. They were deemed unwelcome in this city by the color of their skin, by the language they speak, or perhaps the country they were born in. And some are U.S. citizens. Some were born here. But without due process, there's no way to know all the details. The evils of racism and xenophobia are evident. When we took our tour of the city, what was really clear by our community organizers is that we were aware that, yes, it was cold, but there was really nobody outside. Many of the restaurants were closed. Many of the stores weren't open. And it was explained to us that many people are simply not leaving their homes. Children are not feeling comfortable to walk to school. Many businesses are not open because people don't go to work because they're at home. The infrastructure of an interdependent community is devolving, and you can see it around you. It felt as if it was a city under siege. I was traveling on a bus organized for us to visit the George Floyd Square, a memorial to where George Floyd died and was killed. And then we traveled there to where Renee Good's memorial was set up on a neighborhood street. And along the fence were so many paintings, artistically painted on the wood, of faces such as George Floyd and Philando Castile and Duante Wright and Sandra Blaine and so many more. And there was a fresh painting of Renee Good added to that. Keith Porter, a black man in LA who also was killed by ICE on December 31st, didn't get the splash of press. And now I understand there's a painting of Alex Preddy that's been added. As we traveled these sites, we grieved. We felt our hearts breaking open. And just like the singer and songwriter Leonard Cohen said, it's when there is a crack is when the light comes in. I felt the light of knowledge. I felt the light of emotional connection. I felt the light of sadness and grief, but I also felt the light of hope. And let me explain where that hope comes from. We were seeing so boldly in this community and in different congregations that we visited during these 2 days we were together. Communities coming together with carloads of donations being dropped off of food and clothing and necessities, even medicine. The congregations had tables spread wide with bags and boxes to divide up the cases of apples and potatoes and bread. Then, strangers with an address in hand would take these bags and put them on the porches of the neighbors. There were people and teachers and principals and neighbors who were literally going to the doors in the morning of people's homes and helping children get to school. There were also others who were hiding people in their back seat to take them to medical appointments for emergencies. Can you imagine? This is America. I'm wearing a whistle. Whistles were given to all of us. These whistles saved me. I am still a little shaken. The bus that took us to visit the memorial sites that I mentioned had a car in the front watching for ICE to keep us safe, and a car in the back watching for ICE. Around the corner from where we had parked and were at Renee Good's memorial site, ICE attacked one of the cars and tried to pull the drivers out. And neighbors surrounded the car with whistles, with enough people coming out to witness that eventually ICE left. This These 3D printed whistles with lawyers' numbers on them were given to us, and we saw them everywhere, baskets of whistles to share. I made it back in one piece physically, and my heart was broken open, as I said. It was broken open not just to the ugliness of injustice, but also to the beauty and the strength of community, as people truly were caring for each other. I saw what real community looks like, and I saw what real love looks like. I was supposed to go home on Saturday, but as you know, there was ice in Atlanta, right? My flight was canceled. So I was sitting there wondering, my next necessity was to get to Albuquerque on Monday. But then there was a message over Signal to all the clergy who were still in town who hadn't made their flights home. And they said, if you can stay, stay. There's been another person killed. On Saturday morning of that weekend is when Alex Preddy was murdered. So clergy were asked to help with the presence at his memorial site. Because as you can imagine, yes, there was grief. There was a sense of, here we are again. But there was rage. There was real rage in the air. So me and 4 other clergy in our big puffy coats with our hats and gloves and yellow stoles went to stand vigil with the community. At one point, there was real rage building, and people were wanting to take over the street and say, these are our streets, nobody else's streets. You can't tell us what to do. And there were even reporters there from CNN and different television networks that were whisking the reporters away because the energy in the air started feeling really scary. I got scared. We didn't know what to do. So we started singing. And we sang whatever came to mind. And you know what we sang first? Spirit of Life. I know that song deep in my heart. It was my prayer for the moment that we come back to ourselves. We come back to a spirit of life itself. We sang, come, come, whoever you are. We sang, lean on me over and over again. People started pulling up songs in their phone and handing it to us and saying, here are some lyrics to a song. We sang, don't worry, be happy at one point. People started joining in with us. So we just sang for hours until we were too cold and couldn't sing anymore. During those hours, people were wandering by with big bags of water, granola bars, hand warmers. I looked over, and there was a person who didn't have a great grasp of English, but she came up very calmly and sweetly and said in Spanish, would you like a tamale? Her pan of tamales covered in foil had the steam coming out, hot tamales. At one point, a woman, a beautiful woman with full cover on her face, came by and she said, I am Somali. I am not garbage. In her hand were plates of samosas. She teared up, I teared up, we laughed, we cried together. It was a moment of connection from my humanity to hers. I found hope there in such a time of despair. I left Minneapolis with the knowledge about what we can do here for each other. We can do at Emerson and in our neighborhoods and in our communities, in Marietta, in Atlanta, in this country. We can care for each other. I left with hope that I know that we can love each other into safety. I know that we can create a world for ourselves, for our families, and for our children. And when I don't have words to express myself, I often turn to pictures and videos and music. So I created a video to share with you that will give you lots of visuals of the stories I just shared. You'll hear chants and songs. I record things on my voice memo on my phone to remember so I could come back and teach you these songs one day. Or perhaps when we go on a march together, I'll be able to lead better than weird UU hymns at the vigil that nobody knows the words to. So let me share the video with you now.
And welfare for our city, a prosper Redeemer as your own, that all will see your glory here in greater measure. Through us, your church, your kingdom come. Spirit, pour out. Oh, Spirit, pour out and flood this city. Heaven, come down and shake the walls. Fill us, God, the world is waiting. Creator, let your will be done. Spirit, pour out. Oh, Spirit, pour out and flood this city. Heaven, come down and shake the walls. Fill us, God, the world is waiting. Creator, let your will be done. Oh, you are the God who built.
Our love for our people. Our love for our people. We'll conquer hate. We'll conquer hate. Say, who keeps us safe? Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. We keep us safe. Our love for our people. Love for our people. We'll conquer hate. We'll conquer hate. I say, who keeps us safe? Who keeps us safe? Who keeps us safe?
afraid. Sometimes that's honest. We are so afraid. We'll be prayed for liberation, 'cause we know what we made. We are so afraid. We are so afraid. We are so afraid. We will pray for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will work for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will dance for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. I will die for liberation, 'cause I know why I am made. Let's live again. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We will live for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made.
Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. We keep us safe. Our love for our people. Love for our people. Will conquer hate. Will conquer hate. I say, who keeps us safe? Who keeps us safe? Who keeps us safe? Who keeps us safe? Our love for our people. Our love for our people. Will conquer hate. Will conquer hate. Said our love for our people. Our love for our people. Will conquer hate. Will conquer hate. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. I said, who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. I said, who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Our love for our people. Love for our people. Conquer hate. Will conquer hate. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Our love for our people. Will conquer hate. Our love for our people. Will conquer hate. We say, who keeps us safe? We keep us safe.
Somebody to lean on. I just might have
have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody.
Sing it to the other side of the street. To our houses, sing to our neighbors.
Strengthen each other.
Invite you to rise and bow your spirit.
As our service comes to an end, I'm reminded of the words of Reverend Justice Schroeder. He said, as love's people, we do holy work. We welcome, we affirm, and we protect the light in the human heart. We act beyond our walls for justice and equality. I believe that loving in community and loving each other and caring for each other is holy work. This is what we are called to do, as the parable shared with us this morning. When evil is around us, the highest good is loving out loud with each other in all we do. I promise you, I am certainly aware that the story of humanity and injustice is as long as human history. We know it from looking at our oldest pieces of literature, even in the Jewish Bible. We see acts of destruction and inhumanity in all the stories from ancient times. So, each time of human history, we have called for leaders to guide us. We have called from deep within our heart to find ways to be connected, and we still study the teachings of Jesus, of Buddha, of Confucius, of Allah, of the books and the holy texts that have given us guidance when things are hard. We each in our own ways are seeking ways to move forward with love in dark times. May our religious task be, whenever something is unclear of what to do, we ask the question, what is the most loving thing I can do with the person who is standing in front of me? I believe that that is my religious task every day with every person I meet. My heart is still grieving. I am still a little shaken, and I come grounded and knowing that together we can care for each other. I feel hopeful for what I can do with you. I feel hope that love will guide us in all that we do. And as the parable reminded us, we will choose courage without cruelty. We will choose truth without compromise. We will choose compassion and love over fear and anger. We will build quiet networks of care. We will protect the vulnerable. And this is the vision of what the world can be. By doing so, we will show our children the values to live by. Amen, and may it be so. Thank you. If you would like to stand after this long break of sitting still in your chair, let's stand and sing together. My life flows on in endless song. Thank you, Evan. Stand for a second with me. Let's share in what I heard on the street. This is what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
This is what real love looks like.
This is what real love looks like.
This is what our future can look like.
This is what our future can look like.
Amen.
Amen.
Now you can sit.
Whew. Well, thank you so much, Reverend Christina. Thank you so much for taking our spirit with you to Minneapolis and sharing your words and the images. Such an important message, and we're all so glad that we were present today. All right, our chalice extinguishing. Our chalice extinguishing words: we extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world until we are together again.
I said that already because it just came out. I think we're good.
So I think we don't have any announcements
Yay.
today. All right, no announcements. So as our service ends,
Oh, wait, we do have one.
oh, not too late.
Abundant Love, the historic West End, is celebrating its 8th anniversary today at 2 p.m.
And I'll repeat that in the microphone so that all can hear, and for those people online. So next week, our service is going to include the invited guests from the Congregation of Abundant Love. It is a congregation that is centered in Black religious tradition and Unitarian Universalism here in Atlanta. Today is their 8th anniversary, and their building that they have of their own, because they had been renting a small little place in another building for years. And at 2 o'clock, you are invited to join with them in song and in celebration, or join them online. So we'll see you hopefully online together today, or in person, or next week, as they are our invited guests. Thank you.
As our service ends, go now in peace and take peace wherever you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me be part of it.